Yo, what's going on, guys? Frankie Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it for stock hours. And without much more being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list and earnings week. So, as far as earnings week goes, there's really not too much going on, if I'm being honest. We have Oracle. Oracle last earnings was pretty fair, pretty fire. It was pretty sick move that it made. One of the biggest moves that I've seen it have post earnings. So that might be something I'll be watching going into Tuesday for a post earnings play. Besides that, you have GME for all my herbs out there, for all my degenerates. You have that to mess around with. Broadcom being AVGO, that's one to keep an eye out for. AVGO, I haven't looked at it for a while, but for a post earnings play, that is something I will keep an eye out for. Post split, it hasn't really been a stock that I've been keeping a close eye on. But like I said, maybe for a post earnings move, maybe it provides something that I could maybe handle with or mess around with. So, Costco is the one to talk about as well. Usually those post earnings moves usually pay. There's usually something around them most of the time. So it's something to keep an eye out for as well. But yeah, I've got some fire stocks to keep an eye out for post earnings and seeing how those are going to react next day. So, but let's go ahead and dive into what you guys are waiting for the most, the watch list. So, looking here with ES and NQ, you guys know I like to start with the indexes just to get a rough idea of where we're currently at. We've just been busting out these all-time highs like it's nothing. Market has just been rallying like crazy, all-time highs, or just even hovering around the area. So with ES, I have no trend lines here, which is really nice. No trend lines really keep an eye out for on the bigger time frames. But as far as levels go, I am looking at either the downside on ES at 60.75 here. As you see on my chart, you can see that we are struggling to get below this area. So roughly within that 60.80, 60.75 area is where you want to see a strong close below. And then in order for that to happen, obviously we need good selling pressure so we can get more downside. Or if we can get to the upside, anything above 61.10 or even 6100 for a hold above that. So looking at those two spots for ES, NQ kind of has a similar setup. NQ obviously been grinding all-time highs along right with ES, which is good. It's healthy that they're both moving somewhat according to each other, which is always good. If one's kind of moving, like let's say ES has been ahead for a while with all-time highs and NQ just started catching up, usually it's a bad sign. But now that both indexes are kind of moving in the same direction at the same time, it's not too bad. We can kind of get a better idea of where our stocks are headed out for the meantime. So with NQ here, I'm looking at anything at 21,700. All-time high is pretty cool at 21,670. Anything above that. But as far as the downside goes, guys, I have nothing until 21,400. You can see that we've had multiple rejections below 21,450. So if you really want to be precise with NQ, which I don't really see a need for it unless you're trading literally futures. For me, I just look at whole numbers with NQ or an area where it's been recently rejecting. For me, anything below 21,400, then we could potentially see more downside on that, since that was an area of consolidation beforehand too on the bigger time frame. It's a pretty wide range, 300 point range here on NQ, so it's a tougher area to kind of keep an eye out for a downside or upside. But because it is a 300-point range, it's going to be pretty easy to tell if NQ is going to be struggling to make highs or be struggling to come back and making lows here soon. So that is something to keep an eye out for with NQ with that. And of course, your guys' favorite part of the watch list, I'll leave the best for last, and I'm sure most of you guys who are either in stock hours or have seen what the last stock has been doing. Absolutely disgusting. It's reminding me of the old days. But going into the first stock here, it is Coin. Now, Coin obviously still pretty far away from all-time highs, which I believe all-time highs are, I think, like around the 400 area, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to go on the big time frame here. Let's go to the 5-year. Yeah, so when we IPO'd, it was around 429.54. That is the all-time high there, and we're close, not too far away. The only issue that I have with Coin is with Bitcoin passing 100,000, Coin did not react the way it was supposed to, which is pretty crazy. Because expected with Bitcoin expecting to break 100,000 and have like a $3,000 to $4,000 push, Coin didn't move the way it was supposed to. So, not saying it's a bad setup, but Coin does rely on Bitcoin on a lot of these big pushes. This is an A+ setup for me. We have the double rejection now at 350. In the way contracts move on Coin, they are really risky. Spreads are really bad. The volume is there, but the spreads are just generally really bad on Coin. So on a pullback, you will really get hurt on these if you're not sized appropriately or you don't understand how to really trade the stock. So These are more for my recommended traders for who can trade coin. But I am looking at 350. It's looking like a pretty solid level, double top. As long as crypto isn't fully affecting this and is moving on its own, then I think I'll be totally fine on this trade. But that's the biggest con about this setup, is that hopefully that Bitcoin some sort of drawback, or maybe if we happen to reach 350 and Bitcoin has some sort of drawback, and that could be a red flag. But who knows, right? We won't know until we get there. It is $10 away, but 350 is something to keep an eye out for on coin, since I really do like trading coin. Next up is Meta. Meta had an absolutely insane run on Friday, bro. I mean, look at this. Opened up at 610, made a high all the way till 630. Didn't catch a single bit of it either, which sucks. But you know, man, it is what it is. You know, we gotta make do with what we have, right? Looking at Meta at 630, $7 away currently, obviously a little bit far away, but it is the only setup I see. I am really good at trading all-time highs, like I have been trading. I think I mentioned on the last watch list, all-time high breaks are usually falling along within my A+ setups. So for me, looking at Meta at 630, anything to the downside not interested on. I see no form of consolidation anywhere or anything worth even trading to the downside on Meta. So 630 is all I'm keeping an eye out for. $7 away, so that's pretty far away. So we'll have to see how that's going to move throughout the week, or even going into tomorrow on Monday morning. So, and last but not least, of course, everyone's favorite stock is Tesla, man. This stock has been on an absolute tear. Nor has been destroying the stock. Stock hours in general has been destroying the stock. All-time high is at 414.50. We are almost there, which is pretty crazy to think. I'm pretty sure this is all-time high. Yeah, this is the all-time high on Tesla, and it is pretty crazy to think that we are finally getting back up to these levels. And the reason why I'm so excited is when I used to trade Tesla back in the day, during this 2020, 2021 era on Tesla, before it split, it was one of the craziest stocks on the market to trade. It's kind of reminded me of it now with the way it's been moving recently from this entire week, or even past this 350 level, to the way Tesla's been moving. It's really reminded me of old Tesla on its breakouts, where it would just break out with no hesitations. Obviously, you still need to be careful of the drawbacks and the red flags we see on this, but for the current meantime, with where Tesla is at and the momentum this has had, I am looking at $395 for a trade, and then I'm treating $400 as its own trade. Maybe some people can look to hold this as in one trade. Me personally, that's not my kind of trading style. More of a scalper than day trader. So I'll be treating $395 as its own trade, and then I'll be trading $400 as its own separate trade as well, because of how important that level is as a key level and a psychological level. Everyone in the entire market will be looking at that level on Tesla and seeing how we handle that kind of supply right there. So, but yeah, that is about it for the watch list, guys. Tesla $395 and $400, coin at $350 or $650. What is it? I think it's coin $350, right? Yeah, coin $350, and then Meta, I believe, is $630, right? Yeah, got the numbers a little confused, but those are the levels I am watching for this week. And then obviously I went over the indexes for you guys with NQ and ES and what to be careful of, and a fire earnings watches as well. So pretty crazy watches we got going for us. I do have a few side watch list setups as well, but I'm going to save those for the stock hours chat, just because those setups are a little further away, but those are setups that could be cooking later this week. So I'm going to save those specifically for stock hours. If you're not in stock hours, I recommend joining. $200 a month is not a problem, especially when you're with Nor and making that kind of money back within one signal. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy it and enjoy the video. And I'll see you guys next week with the next Sunday watch list. Before you leave, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it at stock hours. And with that much more being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and kill it on the week. Peace out.